the castle is a very site-specific installation, and you know, being a student here at the Burren College of Art, I've been in the castle often, and I'm familiar with it. And I found that there are features within the castle and within this building that we can't find and you can't create in a gallery. And those specific characteristics were important for the work. In that dome, I'm able to project an image that is round as well. And the galleries aren't made with round ceilings. And it's something that I think will speak to the work and make it stronger. You know, much like a planetarium. In many ways, I think the work has stepped away from the confines that we've given it in the gallery. A lot of artists, I think, work and think that that's where their work will stay or should be. And I think the history of castles are places that are reserved and are just as exalted as this gallery space that we've made. And so I think the work fits well within the context of a castle.
For my MFA, I focused on existentialism, and specifically existentialism in performance art. Over the past 2 years, I developed artwork keeping the audience in mind. And with that, I developed the work. First, I would give them the camera for them to photograph, for them to document. And then it worked out into building installations where the audience becomes the performer. And the reason for doing this was so that I can create a space for the audience to actually project themselves. So even though all of my artwork comes from a very personal place, I tried to extract all of the autobiographical elements where I just explored like the emotional landscape of those things, hoping that the viewer would come and they could project their own experiences with that emotion into the space and onto my body, which I provided for them. My primary medium is the body, and all of the performances were live at one point. And there's a lot of talk in the art world about the document performance and what it means to experience a performance live versus what it means to experience a performance through documentation. So I really explored all aspects of that. So I have video work, I have still photography, there's going to be a live performance at the event, and a performance installation. Some of the video work is edited, some of it's straight through, and it's basically to provide the viewer who comes to the show the entire realm of performance art. What I will be exhibiting in the show is mainly to do with the issue of femicide in the northern region of Mexico. So it's site-specific and geographically specific to that area and how it's affecting women and small girls in that region. And I've chosen the mediums of muralism, drawings, paintings, as well as some sound components and a video installation as well, to talk in different ways about how it's a very real issue that's affecting that region of Mexico right now as we speak. The issue of femicide, which is now known as the universal term for the killing or violence against women, is something that's still very prevalent in the patriarchal society that Mexico holds. And so what I've used is basically the symbol of a pink cross, which is a known symbol in my country, in Mexico, for femicide. And in theory, again, it's a symbol that I'm hoping will collect more of a known, I suppose, knowledge. The more people will see the pink cross, the more they'll be able to associate that with femicide, and in that sense, raising awareness for the situation. And so I've incorporated the pink cross in both my murals. I've taken images from the actual region in Chihuahua of Ciudad Juárez that shows how the fields of Juárez are filled with these pink crosses. Ireland has a very specific history embedded in Mexico for us since the beginning of this femicide phenomenon, because 18 years ago approximately, the president of ours had approved the North American Fair Trade Agreement, and that's, as of that time, the actual femicide problem started to happen out of control. He actually fled away to Dublin, something which I learned about once I got to the Burren, which is funny how life throws you curveballs and there's connections all around. I feel very fortunate that as opposed to in my own country, I can voice certain things here freely, something that I may not be able to do in my own country. So in that respect, not only has the Burren College of Art offered time, space, and creativity for me, but also a form of freedom of speech, creatively speaking, that I would have not been able to necessarily access in my own country. So